but they are the federal police. We'll see. We'll give them a try. Now, I've mentioned the marketing of Mary MacKillop. I don't want to see Mary MacKillop milkshakes or hamburgers or things, but I can understand there'll be a bit of marketing going on around Mary MacKillop. I had this list a moment ago from the Catholic bookshop where they're marketing a whole lot of things already, crosses and icons and photographs and bracelets and videos and books and all sorts of things. The United Retail Federation has put out a press release which is very critical, I suppose, of the Prime Minister, who has suggested that the name Mary MacKillop should be protected pretty much in the way the name Don Bradman is protected. In fact, the headline on their press release is "Atheist Prime Minister should not dictate Mary MacKillop merchandise laws." Scott Driscoll is the National President. Good morning.
Good morning, Neil.
That's a bit rough. What's her atheism got to do with it?
Well, she is an atheist, Neil. I think that's just a fact, and what we're dealing with here is a Christian saint where there's going to be a lot of consumer demand for merchandise and that to be retailed. I think it's unfortunate that any government would be trying to stand in the way of that.
Are you a Catholic?
No, I'm not a Catholic.
What are you?
I'm an Anglican.
Okay. Is it relevant?
I think it's relevant that it's in the public domain, Neil, and I think the Prime Minister's taken, well, it's a one out other than Don Bradman, taken an otherwise unprecedented step to stymie the distribution of merchandise where we know, everyone knows, there's going to be great demand from followers, tourists and the like.
But we don't want Mary MacKillop milkshakes, do we? And Mary MacKillop mousetraps, for heaven's sake.
Well, Neil, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I did an interview earlier and somebody said, well, we don't want Mary MacKillop tea towels and plates. Well, I know as a kid, you know, in regional Australia, you know, that's all a lot of people can afford, but they still want to be part of the celebration. They want to be part of the story that Mary MacKillop is going to be very world-renowned for. I don't think we really need to put restrictions. The marketplace will dictate. I mean, if somebody does something really stupid, they'll be shunned, and so they should be.
What would you consider really stupid?
Look, I'm not the marketplace, Neil. I wouldn't want to sit in that judgment as the Prime Minister's put herself in that judgment, and I think that's the danger of doing this sort of thing.
So you don't think there's a need for any restrictions whatsoever, even if they're in bad taste?
Well, we already have those protections in Australia. If somebody does an advertisement that is offensive to anyone, there's adequate avenues for people to make those sort of complaints. And I would certainly suggest that they would stand the test in this case as well. OK, what if some idiot, some absolute idiot, decides a smart way to do it would be to have a Mary MacKillop sex toy? Well, they would be an absolute idiot, wouldn't they? They would, but what you're saying is there's no reason they shouldn't be allowed to. Well, if they advertised it and people found it offensive, I would hope that it would be dealt with accordingly.
By whom? How? By our atheist Prime Minister?
Well, there are laws in this place that aren't all dictated by the Prime Minister, and there are protections in there already for consumers.
What law would prevent that?
Well, advertising standards laws.
No, I'm not talking about advertising. We're just, you know, I'm selling it. It's in my grubby little sex shop, and you can go in and buy it. Well, I suppose, Neil, to sort of suggest that people are going to do that, I don't want to get down the path. Well, but hang on, you're saying anything's fair game, and I'm saying I don't know that it'll happen. I hope it doesn't. But that there are idiots who are capable of trying to cash in by doing something which a lot of Catholics would see as blasphemous. And Neil, people do things that you and I would probably think is outrageous, and but you know, it's a free country; they're allowed to do it. If some idiot wants to do it and some idiot wants to buy it, let them be idiots together. I don't think the rest of the country has to suffer as a result. Do you think it seemed a bit strange though? So we could have a law to protect a batsman but not a saint. Look, I have a bit of an issue with that, indeed. I really don't think that we should have gone down that path, quite frankly. I wasn't involved, as I'm sort of looking at this, as President of the United Retail Federation at the time that occurred, but I think it would be a wanting argument for that one to have gone through legislation as well. What if I was to market the Scott Driscoll drinking game? How to get drunk and legless and throw up? Well, Neil, that's probably going to do a lot for the world, but I don't really think it's going to be in great demand. So you go. But the point is a misuse of your name, as you know. Well, mate, my name's probably misused by people quite a bit, so I don't have an issue with it. And you don't have an issue with the saints with Mary MacKillop's name as a saint being misused? I think the market will determine that would be a very narrow cast opportunity for idiots, as you rightly call them, to market to a very, very minute group of other fools who, quite frankly, shouldn't be representative of the marketplace in Australia. Thank you for your time. Scott Driscoll, National President, United Retail Federation. You agree? Do you think Mary MacKillop's name should be freely used? Don Bradman's isn't? I agree with the marketplace argument mostly. I just think that there is a matter of protecting perhaps people from what could well be blasphemous to them. Now, if Mary MacKillop's image is being used in some way that's considered blasphemous, could there be action taken? I really don't know. 96900 693 13.